Hello world, it's Calcutron here with a TI basic tutorial for a simple number guessing game. Today we're going to be making a simple program where a number is generated randomly and users guess until they find the generated number. After each guess, the user is told whether they are higher or lower than the generated number. Let's get right into it and create a new program called Guess. The first thing we're going to do is clear the screen. Always my favorite way to start a program. And then we're going to generate a random number. So if you've seen episode 10 or 11 of our TI Basic tutorial series, we're going to be using this randint command to generate a random number. And here you can kind of choose how you want to generate your number. I'm going to go between 1 and 1000. Let's make it a fairly large number so the game takes a little while. It should take as many as 10 guesses if you're playing optimally, or many more than that if you're not playing optimally. And then we want to store this into n. So n will be the number that the user is guessing for, and then we want g for guess to be the guess of the user. So let's repeat repeat until the user guesses the correct number. So that would be if n is equal to g, or let's order it this way: if g is equal to n, if they get their guess equal to the number. That's just kind of a stylistic thing that I chose to do. They're exactly equivalent because equality is symmetrical. And then we're going to ask for user input. So we're going to use the input command and say, what is your guess? And I really hope I'm spelling guess right, because I have had quite a bit of trouble with it in the past. And we'll store that into g, which again is for guess, and then we want to check if their guess is lower than the generated number. So if g is less than n, then we want to tell them too low. So we'll display too low. And I'm going to leave off this end quotation mark. That's something we haven't talked about, but like end parentheses, you can leave off an end quotation mark. And then if g is greater than n, if they guessed a number greater than the generated number, or than the random number they're guessing for, we want to tell them that it is too high. And once again, we'll leave off our end parenthesis, or not our end parenthesis, but our end quotation mark, because it's technically optional and we can save a whole byte of our program. So maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. That's for you to decide. And then at the end of this end, which means that we'll only get here when our repeat loop has been satisfied, so we're repeating until g equals n. So when they guess the right number, when g becomes equal to n, we will break out of this loop, we'll exit it, and then we can display you win. And I guess we could even display the number was, although they'll already know the number. The number was, and then we'll display n. So in case you forgot, we can separate different arguments to our display command by commas, and they'll all display on subsequent lines. So if we run this, it's going to prompt us, or it's going to ask us to input our guess. So we'll say 500. That's a good middle of the road guess. So that's too high. And then, so if 500 is too high, let's try 100. So 100 is too low, so we know it's got to be between 100 and 500. So let's guess 490. Still too high. How about 300? Too low, so we know it's between 300 and 490. So 350 maybe. Too low. 400. Still too low. 450. Too high, so it's between 400 and 450. Let's get this over with. 412. Oop. 406. Too low, so maybe 410. Too high. 408. Okay, maybe picking between 1 and 1000 was not the best idea, but we eventually got it. The number was 408, as we guessed. So we might want to also keep track of how many guesses the user makes. So let's use C for that, and we'll start it at 0. You start out having made 0 guesses. Then every time we enter this loop, we can increment C. So C plus 1 stored in C. And that is C for count, G for guess, N for number. So you should always try to name your variables something that makes sense, or choose variables with a name in mind so that it's easier for you to comprehend when you're looking at the code. And then down here we can display your number was N, you took, or how about you guessed. You can take out this space, you guessed C times. And why not, let's put in a clear home right here before we display all that. And, well, no, that's enough. I think this is our final product, our final guessing game. Let's try to play optimally this time, and we'll see if we can get under 10 guesses. 10 would be an optimal, or the worst you could possibly do while playing optimally. So, too high, so 250, still too high, so let's try 125, still too high. Ooh, we got a really low number. That was luck, I guess. Okay, so between 31 and 62, so 45 is between those numbers. Maybe 46 is better. Too low. Between 46 and 62. Now I have to do the math. What's halfway between 46 and 62? The answer is 49. So 49 is too low. So halfway between 49 and 62, I believe, is 55. Still too low. So 55 and 62 is 58. I'm kind of guessing here at what's halfway in between. Maybe 59. Okay, still too low, between 59 and 62, so we'll go with 61. Come on, 61. Ooh, okay. So there we go. It took us 10 guesses, and we finally got the answer of 61. So maybe I was off on my calculation that it takes a minimum of 10 guesses. Maybe it's a minimum of 11 guesses, but I challenge you to consider where did I come up with the number 10, and leave a comment. What is the correct number of guesses if you're playing optimally that you can always find the number in? So I hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. If you have any questions about TI Basic, or this is your first time on my channel, go ahead and check out the tutorials, and we'll learn in those all of the concepts and commands that we use to make this program and other cool programs. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them below, and I'll be sure to answer. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.